My name is Amy Halper. I am 20 years old, attending the University of Memphis in Tennessee. I'm in Alpha Delta Pi sorority, and I have epilepsy. My freshman year of college was just like everybody tells you, college is the best years of your life. It was so much fun. I joined a sorority. I gained the best friends and sisters I could ever have. I do attend school 10 plus hours away from home, so that was a little bit of a difficult transition, but it's really not that bad. So the end of the school year came, and I thought I was gonna have the best summer. I was so sad that I was leaving all these new friends and new sisters, but I knew I would be back in the middle of July and then back for good in August, and I was just so excited to see them. I thought my summer was gonna be one of the best. I was gonna go home and work full-time and get to spend time with my fiance, but everything changed on June 14th, 2015. My fiance and I were at the drive-in to see Jurassic World, and on the way home in the car, I had my first seizure.
I can remember Amy's first seizure like it was yesterday. We were doing our normal routine of going to the drive-in to see a movie. That's because that's where we had our first date, and we were watching Jurassic World, and about towards the end of it, she started getting really tired, and I thought, okay, she's just tired, so we wouldn't stay for the second movie since that was the first one. We left, and as we were heading back to my house at the time, she started like not feeling good at all out of nowhere, and I didn't really know what to do, so I was like, kind of worried. And then it got worse when she kind of just passed out and started shaking repulsively, and I knew something major was going on. After that happened, we thought that was a one-time thing, but unfortunately it was anything but that. It was continuous, and it got progressively worse and worse, meaning her seizures got longer and she was unconscious longer as well. And this happened pretty much all summer. She was miserable. I could definitely see it. She started getting really bad, scarring and bruising in her where the IVs go in, and you could just tell, she had pretty much the life sucked out of her in her face. It was just, really unhealthy look for her. But we didn't know what was wrong.
As summer ended, I was more scared than I've ever been in my entire life. I had been told by some doctors that it was just all in my head and I was doing it to myself, and I had been taken off all the medicine that they had put me on and basically just pushed off my way to school saying, sorry, you're doing it to yourself. And I was 10 hours away from home. I was moving into the sorority house. I never realized how much you need your sisters when things get hard.
So I remember the first time that Amy had a seizure here in Memphis. We were getting ready for formal recruitment, and we were having a workshop at the house, and I was chapter president at the time, and we're doing the workshop, and girls are going in and out of the room, and Katelyn peeked in through the door and motioned for me to come, and she was like, we need you. And we went into Amy's room, and she was lying on the floor unconscious.
And I just remember Candace and I opening the door to her room in the sorority house and finding her on the floor. And at first it seemed like she was crying, like she had just been stressed or was tired or something happened. And so Candace went to pat her back and check on her, and she immediately started seizing again.
And I remember she stopped breathing, and there was just something in me that was like a complete panic, and I wanted to be able to help her, but there was nothing that any of us could do. And it was definitely a very, very scary moment, and little did we know that it would lead all of us on this crazy and emotional journey. And watching her have seizure after seizure, watching her have seizures at events, watching her have seizures just sitting in her room, and her having no answers. We spent so many nights in the hospital, in and out of the ICU, doctors telling us that she had a seizure disorder, that she had some other disorder, that it was all just in her brain and she was making it up. She was making herself have seizures, and just this emotional roller coaster, just wanting to have an answer. We wanted to know, how do we help her? What do we do?
From then, I spent a couple weeks in and out of the emergency room with her during recruitment. And growing up, you know, I was 19, and so it was hard to see my best friend and this person that I really didn't know all too well and hadn't known for a long time, and was suddenly sitting by her bedside watching her unconscious and suffer and be upset. And she pushed me so hard to focus on the sorority stuff and not be there. But when her parents are 13 hours away and they were trying to drive overnight to be there for her while she was in the ICU, there's not much that I was willing else to do but leave her side.
One of the scariest times was, I don't even remember what event it was after, but she had a seizure and we were at the hospital, and she had been in the hospital for a few days and she wasn't getting better. She was just continuing to have her grandma seizures, and she was just continuing to be in pain, and the nurses said that she was doing them to herself, which obviously we know now is not true, and we never believed it at the time, and that we were causing them. Us being there was stressing her out, and told us we all had to leave. And so we left, and I went home, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got a phone call from a nurse, and I could hear Amy screaming in the background. I mean, you imagine waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and being alone in a hospital room, and the nurse asked for me to come back, and I couldn't get to the hospital quick enough, and I got in my car and I flew there as quick as I could and got into the room, and Amy she was so upset, and she was just so upset on the way that she was being treated at the hospital, and she was so upset because no one would tell her where we were, and no one would tell her what was going on, and she was just confused. And I remember sitting in the recliner next to her and holding her hand, and we just both fell asleep. And that's the moment that I realized that no matter where this journey was going to take us, that I didn't care how many sleepless nights there were, that I would always sleep with her in the hospital, and someone always needed to be with her, because it's terrifying. It was terrifying for us. And I think until that point, a lot of us were thinking about how hard it was on us, how hard it was at events, at ceremonies, and things that when I was president, I'm in charge of, and I'm leading, and I'm having to worry about 100 other women. And then Amy would have a seizure, and I would want to be with her, but I still had duties as president, and I would think about how hard it was on me to handle that. But that night in the hospital, watching her just be genuinely so scared, and just watching her be so genuinely just in pain, her whole entire body hurting. In that moment, I realized that how hard it is on her to have to endure all of that, and that if me being there and sleeping in a recliner and holding her hand while she slept so that she felt safe and secure in any way, shape, or form made that better for her, then I was willing to do that. And in between though, in between all of the crazies and the hard stuff, we've made light of a few things in this situation. She is the sassiest person I've probably ever met other than myself, and she gets highly sassy during and after those seizures. We were in the hospital, and she had a bunch of seizures, and she was really sore from them because, you know, her body's going everywhere, and she would wake up in these crazy positions, and she was really sore. And the nurse came in, and she asked the nurse if she could have like Motrin or Advil or something, and the nurse was like, yeah, of course. Well, she ended up falling asleep, and so I told the nurse, like, I didn't want to wake her, like she really needed her sleep. Well, Amy woke back up, and and a nurse happened to walk in at the same time, and Amy went off on this nurse. She was like, I just got all these seizures and my whole entire body hurts, and you won't give me any kind of medicine. Like, are you stupid? Are you even a nurse? Let me see your license. Like, just was going crazy on this nurse, and we were like, Amy, you are sleeping. She's holding your Motrin right now. And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, we were like, Amy, why are you being sassy? And another time, they were starting to give her oral medication and some of the stuff that she's taking now, and so they brought her a pill cup, and there was also like a liquid thing that she had to drink, and she didn't want to drink the liquid stuff because she was like, it's not vegan. We were like, Amy, it's medicine, you have to take it. And she was like, I'm not taking it, it's not vegan. And so I was like, oh, I was like, Amy, we told the doctor that you were vegan. They got you a special one that's vegan. And she was like, oh, okay, and took it. I have no idea if it was vegan or not, but like, sister friend, you just have to take this medication. That was pretty funny because the nurse that was holding the medicine couldn't stop laughing at the fact that she was so worried about her medicine being vegan. And that was the only thing that was important. She woke up one time and she looked around and she realized that she was at the hospital, and she was like, I'm fine. I'm not seizing anymore. I'm done. I want to leave. And she started taking all of her sensors off. And one of our sisters who's in nursing school was with us. And so, of course, now all the machines are beeping because Amy's pulling off her sensors. So our sister's going through the drawer, refinding the little sticky square sensor things and reapplying her sensors on her. I was like, Amy, but you had a bunch of seizures, like, we have to make sure that you're fine. And she was like, no, I'm done, I'm leaving, I'm getting up, and was like trying to get up out of the bed, and we were like, Amy, stop.
This girl is the most stubborn person you would ever meet. She refuses to tell you when something isn't going right. She doesn't ever want to feel like she's less than somebody or less than anybody in here. She wants to be treated like a college student, but I keep telling her she's not. She's not a regular college student. She has to be careful. She has to take her medicine every day. She has to be codependent on somebody, and it's hard. It's really, really hard for her and for the people who take care of her.
I've never been a codependent person. I've always been a really independent person. And to lose the ability to drive and go get groceries and be by myself. I love to run and work out, and I can't do it anymore. And as different things happened in the semester, I just realized how much I needed everybody. And of course, being 10 plus hours away from home, my family could only come down when it was really serious, but only a couple times that I was in the ICU and had been unconscious for days. I have weeks of my life gone that I don't remember from being in the ICU and the emergency room, and without my sisters there, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
I don't want her to give up. I don't want her to think that she can't do anything, because she can do everything and anything she wants to. And I don't know, it breaks my heart when she wants to give up, because I know how strong she is, even though I keep saying it. Like, it breaks my heart when she wants to give up, because she's made my life so much better. Like, I don't even understand. She thinks that I'm her lifesaver, but she's my lifesaver.
My mother and I were looking into help and doctors, and one thing we had come across was a seizure dog, and we looked, and there's so many companies that do it and so many different ways to do it, but we found one of the cheapest ways and an amazing company to work with, Service Dogs by Warren Retriever, and I am currently raising money for a seizure dog.
With the dog, she'd be able to, she loves working out and running. She'd be able to go to the gym and, run and walk and jog with it. She can, stay home by herself and, go grocery shopping and, doing all the little things that she can't do anymore. She'll be able to do with this dog. And for me, knowing that she has this dog with her, when I'm not around, would make me extremely relieved about it, because I know that she, like I said, she's in good hands and she'll be able to get a lot of her independence back, which would make me extremely happy, because I know how important a lot of these things are for her. So
Her being so far away from her family and her support system without any other ways of comfort really made this a must to do, and to challenge people to think and put themselves in her shoes and educate people around her the benefits that the service dog would bring.
And I don't think that you really think about all of the things that you're able to do for yourself and the things that could be taken away by having a condition like epilepsy. Just thinking about, I just want you to think about the fact that if you want to go to Starbucks, you can get in your car and you can drive to Starbucks. If you go and work out and you want to hop in the shower, you can hop in the shower. You can go to sleep at night and not be worried that you might not wake up in the morning. And that's not Amy's reality. And I couldn't imagine those things, that extreme loss of independence that she has in her 20s, that she can't do that. And I just want you to think about those, if all of those things were taken away from you. And I think that it's really hit home and made me realize even more how important this service dog is for her, because I've recently broken my leg and I have recently lost a lot of my own independence. And to think that this could potentially be a loss of independence that Amy could have for the rest of her life is just mind-boggling to me. But then I think this service dog, though highly expensive, this dog will change her life, and this dog could save her life. And you could be a part of that. Everyone that donates is going to be a part of giving her back her life, because she can be alone. She can take showers. She can go to sleep without any fear, because her dog is going to be able to sense when a seizure is coming. So if she's in the car, he can sense that a seizure is coming and she can pull over and not be a danger to herself and to others. And he's going to be able to notify others. So if she's in the shower, she doesn't have to tell anyone, hey, I'm gonna take a shower, I should be out in 10 minutes. Because if she has a seizure, the dog can go notify people. She can be alone, because if she has a seizure and she's unconscious, the dog's gonna be trained to call 911. So she's going to be able to be a 20-year-old. She's going to be able to have her independence. But just like she couldn't have gotten through the past few months of having all of her seizures alone, she can't get this service dog alone either. She needs for the people who love her to donate and to help, and she needs for the people to know her to donate, and she even needs for strangers to have empathy and to donate and to relate. And so I ask all of you who have heard her story, who know anything about the journey that she's taken, to sacrifice something so that she can regain her independence. So sacrifice seeing a movie this week. Sacrifice a Starbucks on a Friday. Sacrifice getting a manicure and getting your nails redone. And donate that money to Amy. Donate that money so that she can regain her life back. Because I promise you, you won't miss that movie. You won't miss that Starbucks cup. But Amy misses having her independence. Because I watch it every single day. I watch her resenting the fact that she can't be a normal person. And I see her resenting the fact that she has to depend on so many other people to take care of her. And that's not fair to her. it's not fair that she is in college and she is supposed to be in the prime of her life and that she has epilepsy. But she does the best that she can dealing with it. But with your help and your support and understanding of her situation, she could have a normal life.
A seizure dog will give me so much more than I could ever even dream of right now. A seizure dog will be able to tell if my blood sugar's low, or might be able to tell me when I'm about to have a seizure. It can call 911, it can call an emergency contact, it can alert people around me, it can make sure I'm breathing, it can protect my head and body if I'm somewhere or like against the wall. It can give me companionship when I am alone and scared. It would just do so much for me, and it would just mean so much to me to be able to get one. It would really be life-changing for me. I cannot thank everybody enough who's been there. My family, my wonderful fiancé, and all my sisters who have been here for me. It's one of the most hardest things I've ever had to go through, and it's hard when I spent 19 years of my life healthy and everything changed overnight.
I'll be the angel by your side. I will get you through the night. I'll be the strength you can't provide on your own. 'Cause when you're down and out of time and you think you've lost the fight,